I am Kyle from Robot Entertainment, and I'm the game director on Orcs Must Die Deathtrap. The biggest number one thing that our fans have been asking for is 4-player co-op. So Deathtrap is the first time in the franchise's history that you can play this game with a team of 4 war mages. It's still completely playable as a solo player. With new people, I would say that this is a unique take on 4-player co-op shooters that takes a little bit more communication, a little bit more cooperation. It's different every time that you play it, and there's so much decision making along the way. It takes a lot of creativity and you have a lot of options. So it's what traps do you bring? What hero do you play? How do you adjust based on which hero and traps your teammates chose? Which mission do you select, which has those randomized challenges attached to it? So it's just these constant decisions that you have to make. It takes a little more active thinking to get through a run of Orcs Must Die. That just makes it more fun and exciting, and really feels like you're part of a team while you're doing that. Your job is to place traps like spike traps and flip trap to stop hundreds of orcs from entering the rift. But you actually do that from the unique perspective of a character. So you're playing from a third-person camera perspective. So while you have these traps to stop the orcs, you also have your own arsenal of weapons and abilities across 4 games in the franchise. Had 12 million players, leading up to the 5th entry, which is Orcs Must Die Deathtrap. Orcs Must Die takes place in a world where these rifts that you're protecting provide the magic that allows the societies to flourish in this world. So that allows, the crops to grow, it allows people to cast spells, it allows people to cook and live their lives, but they also function as teleports between different realms and different worlds. And the orcs, who are just pillagers, they use these rifts to get from town to town and burn them down. So you play as a war mage of an organization called the Order, and your job is to defend these rifts from orc attacks. I started as a playtester. Everyone on my design team has been there since at least 2015. So starting as players and fans, right? So, we've played thousands upon thousands of hours of Orcs Must Die. We know we're constantly thinking about orcs and where to take it and what makes it fun. Some of the other changes that players have been asking for that we're implementing are we have unique heroes with their own sets of abilities. They have their own unique trap. They have their own personality and voiceover, which we've been putting in recently. We do have, for the first time, something I'm excited about is a sniper character. And part of his gimmick is his unique trap is a grav lift that can lift him up into the air to give him, that perspective so he can see orcs far away and pop their heads off. And so we'll have 7 heroes at launch. We've been a little cheeky about it, but one of those 7 is Maximilian, our main man, Maximilian. So if you're a fan of the series, he will be there.
Orcs Must Die.
There's a large change in the structure of Orcs Must Die Deathtrap compared to previous games, and one of the reasons it's called Deathtrap and not Orcs Must Die 4 is it doesn't feature a straight linear campaign. We wanted to introduce more variety, and so every time you play, you're choosing random maps that have challenges attached to them that we call distortions. There's dozens of those distortions that can be added to maps and add an extra challenge. Between waves, you're offered boons, which we call threads, that augment your abilities and your traps, and we have over 500 of those in the game. And then the levels themselves can be varied as well. You might come into a level you've played before, but this time it's raining and that spawns different types of enemies. Or this time it's nighttime and now skeletons are spawning. Gunfire Reborn was a big inspiration for us. Risk of Rain 2, co-op shooters like Deep Rock Galactic, both for the rogue elements and for such awesome feeling combat like Hades were things that we were playing too. We had a game that you can no longer play called Orcs Must Die Unchained that has a very vocal fan base. That's where I started my career, was on Orcs Must Die Unchained, and so I wanted to make sure that we do have references. Having Max in the game as a playable hero obviously is something that I hope fans are excited about. It's all references to the history of the series and Max's history of killing orcs. There is now infinite time between waves. We've gotten rid of the idea of the time pressure, so I wanted to give players as much time as they needed, especially in 4-player co-op, which calls for more communication between players, that they were never in a rush to get their traps down and plan what they wanted to do. And we have these larger maps too, so it takes a little bit more time to figure out what you want to do, especially when they're changing every time that you play them. The game is peer-to-peer, so it will be up forever. Fans never have to worry about the game coming offline. If you love Deep Rock Galactic, Risk of Rain 2, Gunfire Reborn, then you will love Orcs Must Die Deathtrap.
Okay, time to wrap this up.
Orcs Must Die Deathtrap releases Q1 2025 on Steam, the Epic Games Store, and Xbox platforms.